Yes, hello learning engineers, welcome back to our channel. It is Birungi Joel. In this video, I want to teach you how to report your readings. If you've gone to measure off from anything, and then how do you read your readings? For instance, we shall go with obvious standard measurements. For instance, a brick. We know that the longest side of a brick, the stretcher face, is always 225 millimeters. 225 millimeters. If this is a brick, we take this side to be 225 millimeters. Now, if we have to go and look at our tape measure on a brick, let us go and see how this one relates to the metric scale of reading. Remember, we said the metric scale is the lower scale of a tape measure. For instance, if this is our upper scale, this one is our upper scale, and the lower scale, the metric scale, is the lower scale, which measures in millimeters, centimeters, and meters. Now let's go to our metric scale and see how a brick makes 225, and how do we read it off? How do we prove it out that really this is true? Yes, I have a standard brick here, and the longest side is always 225 millimeters. That's standard brick, and then I assure you this is a standard brick. So now, from the start of the brick now to the end, we see this arrows, the sharp edge is in it is in 5. For instance, from the 20 we have a 1, we have a 2, right? Then this sharp edge is in this longer strip, right? Remember, I told you that this is the metric scale: millimeters, centimeters, and meters. So now, if it is in this 5, how do we really take it to be 225 millimeters? Yes. Now, if we have to prove it out, because we may not need to count these smaller strips, because we say these smaller strips are the millimeters, having them at 10 making a centimeter, 10 making a centimeter. We may not need to count until we get the 225 millimeters. But if we change this to centimeters, we can know what to do. For instance, if 1 centimeter has 10 millimeters, right? So then how many centimeters are going to be in 225 millimeters? It means that we shall have to divide this by 10. Having a 0 here, it means 2.5 centimeters. So now, the 225 millimeters are making 2.5 centimeters. So now, on our metric scale, we are taking these centimeters, right? So now, this is the 22.5 centimeters as the longest side of a brick. And we have a standard brick here, from here to that. And the measurement is here. The sharpest edge here is giving us this. And it is telling us it's supposed to be 22.5. So how do we make sure it is 22.5? So now this is 22 centimeters. Then 0.5, those are the millimeters. And this is exactly what it is. You count 1, 2, 3, 4, then 5. So those are the 22.5 millimeters. But we converted them to centimeters so that we can be sure about what we are getting. Yes, if we can measure off something else, we see what happens. Yes, I want us to measure this board. Yes, the full width of this board, and we see how to report the results or the measurements. Yes, if I have to adjust my tape measure to the end of the board, and we see what it gives us. Yes. Yes, if we are told to measure off and take the dimensions of this board, we look at this and we see that it is giving us 1.5 1.2, and then we measure off one strip. If I try, yes, the end is 1.2, then we go to 1 centimeter, and then we take one strip after one. Let us try to write it and we see how we can report it. So when we measured to the edge of the board was closing here from 120, then to this one, and then to this strip. Okay, this strip after one. How do we report this one? Remember, this is a metric scale of millimeters, meters, and centimeters, then meters. Then we shall report this one as 1.2. We shall report this one as 1.2, 1, then 1. Okay, 1.2, 1, 1. How does it happen? It happens this way: 1.2, 1, 1. It means the 1.2 is the meter, okay? Then this 1 is the centimeter that comes after this meter, and then this one is the small strip which represents a millimeter, right? So the moment you get something like this, then you know these are meters. 120 meters, then the 1 is the centimeter that cuts after 120 meters, and then the other one is the millimeter. So it is crucial for us to know with the metric scale we are dealing with millimeters, the small strips that make a centimeter, right? Then from the centimeter we go to a meter, having 1 centimeter with 10 millimeters, the small strips, and then having 100 centimeters making 1 meter. So if you deal with these conversions, then you know how to use your tape measure. Let's meet in the next video. Thank you.